Are you able to see my screen? Hello. Are you able to see my screen? Can anyone confirm? So last time I think I discussed a Java array. So in this Java array till H class I discussed. So today I'll continue from this K, L, M and U class. So after that you can practice all the Java related interview questions or real-time interviews also. Or if you are working from this real-time project, so there you can implement all the concept. So this is from the section package section 8. In that class J is there. So class J we have a static type method is there, and return type is void, and test method is named this one. So void means no return type, and this is static block. First one, line number 4 is a static method, line number 8 is static block, because by using a static keyword open close braces is there. There is no method name and all, and return type means this is static block. So class J have a static method and a static block. Class K have static block only, SIB, static initialization block is there. And class manager has main method, so compiler will go for the main method. So once you run this program, in that we have a main method, and then it will go for this line number 24 k.test method. So k.test method is without parameters. So k.test method will call once the classes will load, this k.test method will call. But k.test method is not available in this class K, but here we are doing extend. So extend means the classes G will be extended. So the classes G have method and block, so these two will be extended in the class K, and class K have two block and one method. So once the line number 24 will executed, this then a static block will be executed first. So SIB, J and AK will be executed first, and after that, because always once this main method will call, after that all the static, once the classes will load, all the SIB block will be executed. So this will be loaded static block, and after that this test method will call. So this test method will be inside this K also, a static void test. So form J will be printed. So this is related for the concept of a static block, a static method, inheritance and all. Now in class L, so class L we have a static variable is there. This is a static variable, this is a static block. Now we have a class M extend L, so L is inside that we have a static block. Now extend is there means L variables and block also will be extended inside this M. But block will not be override. Block will be whatever block will be there, all the block will print. There's no override overload will concept happen inside. Override overload will happen only method level, because the method same name same parameters and all. If then it will be overloaded from the same class and override from the different class. In this case, in class M we have a two static block and one static variable. So a static variable by default value will be integer, default value will be there if you are not initialized. Now compiler have main method inside this manager 6. So main method static void test1. Inside that we have a SOP test test test, then SOP of println m.I. So m.I means this class and I. So here inside the class also we have a variables, right? So m.I means I value will be printed. I means default value, because a static variable is there. So here default value is 0 will be printed, and then again SOP dash dash dash. Now this is class n. So class n have main method. Class n have main method. So in main method we have a form n, a SOP. Then we have a static block. Main method and a static block is there. And in class O extend n. N means this static block also will be extended. So once you run this program O, there is no main method is there, and if you run this program of n, then here sib and then form SOP will be printed. A static block will execute first and then a static block will be printed. These all are related for this basic of array. So array we completed in 1 to 4, like A, C, E, H and K inside that, and after that we have revised this static block method variables and all. So in this P class also have a main method and a static block is there. Q is extending. Q also have a main method and a static block. So a static won't be override. A static public static void main method won't be override, because this is once the classes will load, in that time it will be loaded. And in U class also have R. So class R have main method static block. S class also have main method static blocks. T class have only static blocks and all. And then U class again have static block, and there they are doing some execution, T dot main argument. And then we have again a static block. So once the classes will be loaded, all the static block will be loaded for the particular class. If you are using U class execution, in that cases this static block will be loaded. And if any extend keywords will be there, then the others extend class static block also will be loaded. So in Java array, mostly we covered Java array. So this is Java array concept which we covered last time. So this is a part of Java array. So inside this Java, if you go here, so Java array, this is the array of length, start from 0 to and minus 1 9 index. So these all are the index value 0 1 2 3 4 5. And then advantage, code optimization random access, disadvantage. And then we have a array, two type of arrays there, single dimension array and multi-dimension array. So whatever we seen in program, that was a single dimension array, but multi-dimension also we can define. So that same way we will define, but we can say 2D array in that case. So how we will do this multi-dimension array? This is single dimension array. So in this test method we have a main method. Inside this test class we have a main method. Then we have this array which new int type of array int a type of array is defined, and which is new int type, and 5 size is 5 means starting from 0 to 4. So array of 0 sizes value is 10, array of 0 sizes value is 20, 1 size, 2 size is 70, 3 size is 40, 4 size is 50. Why? Because of integer type I am taking, because int type of array we declare here. So declaration and initialization will happen in array in this way, and initialized with the value is this way, like a of 0 index will be 1 or something. And after that, if you want to traverse this array, so that way we can do I equal to 0, I is less than n a dot length minus 1, or a dot length less than, or I plus plus. So this is the length of the property of array we can use. So the same we already covered. So for this case, if you traverse this array, so output will be 10, 20, 70, 40 and 50 will be there. So we already seen declaration initializations in Java array, how we are declaring and all. So like that also we can declare this array int a array, and then these all are the five integer type, and here also we declare all are the 5 integer type, but the size I mentioned, the value we have defined index based on the index in the next line. A of 0 is 10, a of 1 is 10, but here directly we define integer type of array and the value is all 5 value here to be declared. So in a single line we declare instantiation and initialized in Java array. So this way also we can do, and if you run this program, the same output will be printed by using for loop. So we have a multiple ways to call by using for loop or for each. So if you run this program by using for each, so for each also we can do. So how we will do this? So this, in this case, see, suppose we have a array and the array number is 4 here, 4 or 5, whatever, 5 is there. Now here what we have mentioned here, by using for loop we mention this way: I equal to 0, I is less than array of length. So array of length is 5, here 4 is there, 0 1 2 3 means 4 is there, so less than 4 I plus plus we seen last time. This is the four-way loop. But if you want to do same program using for each, so for each how we will use, see here, this is the array and we need to run this program or print this array using for each loop. So for each is, this is the patterns which we can declare by using for each. So this is for integer type of I. Integer type of I is array, integer type is there, and what we define like array is there. So array, which type of array is there? This is array, this is reference integer type of array. So we taken this reference and we are using in this for each loop. So we mention this array, so this is array is also integer type. So here we define integer, our reference, and then double quote, and here we have a reference of array, so variable. So this is arr is the reference here, which is integer type of array. So this we mention, and through that we are printing. Always we will print till this execution will complete, till the all the index will be completed. In that time we will use the for each loop. So this for each, what will happen? First we'll check index of 0 value is 33, fine, because integer of I we are declaring and array we are taking from this. So first will be index of 0 will print, then index of 1, then index of 2, index of 3. Index of 4 is there, not there, because 0 1 2 3 4 is a completed, only 4 size, total 4 size, which is a start from 0 to 3. So in that cases total 4 output will be printed, and then for each will be exit. So like that we have a multiple ways we can declare the arrays and we can call this array, but basic what we seen on real time of project we are using this way. Others is we have a multi-dimensional array is there. So in this multi-dimensional array same way we can declare, but before we seen one type of array, but here is a two type of array, means we can say 2D of array. So if you want to declare two array, so see integer, before we seen one rectangular one square bracket was there, but here we have two square bracket. So it means 2D array means two type of arrays, two data type of array will be there. And here we mention new int, and this integer type of 1 and integer type of 2 means row and column form the array we define. So we have a 0.0 is 1, 0.1 is 2, 0.2 is 4, 3, 1.0, because we have a 2D array. 2D means two dimensional array, and which is a start from 3 rows and 3 columns. Suppose if you mention integer type of array declare and the size is 3 means 3 2D array, and the rows is 3 and column is 3. So rows first will start rows, first one is a start of rows, so A0, and all the column will be executed. A0 means 0 0 0 1 0 3 exit, then 1 will start 1 0 1 1 1 2, then exit, then 2 0 2 1 2 2. Like that multi-dimensional array will be executed here. So if you'll see here example, we have a test array 3. So this test array 3 have main method. Here we declared this 2D array. 2D array means this one 1 2 and 3. So this is 2D array and the size is 1 2 3, total 0 from 0 1 2 3. And what we are doing, we are, if you use 2D array and if you are processing the data or printing the 2D array, in that cases we will use, before we use one loop, here we will use two loop. So loop inside the loop. So for I equal to 0, I is less than length. So length is 1 2 3, right? So 1 2 3 means I is less than 3, 0 to 2 only will be executed and 3 will be false. 0 1 2 length and I plus plus. Again inside that, once these conditions will satisfy, then it will go for this j equal to 0, j is less than 3, j plus plus, like that. And this will be printed like first row will be once true, then it will go for the second this j, and once j will complete it, then it will increase by this I again, like this. So first is 1 2 3 will be printed, then 3 2 4 5, and then 4 5 4 4 5 will be printed. So like that we have a single array and multi-dimensional array is there. So mostly we cover the basic of array here, what all are the arrays we can create and how we will call. Once we object created, based on the reference we will declare array also, object reference, and directly we can call this array by using for loop and for each. So in section 8 we cover arrays, and then if you have any doubt in array, mostly the basics will be there in this array, so which I covered. And if you have any doubt we will discuss, else we can continue on this section 9. So in this section 9 we have a final method, so final variable. So when to use final, what is finals and all we can discuss. If you have any array doubt, then we can go for that, else because the basic of array which already we covered. Array is a small part of Java core concept, and we have a two type of array mostly used for the similar type of data, and if you want to fix in the size, in that cases we will use array. And array has two type, one is 2D and single D, means one dimensional and two dimensional. One dimensional this way we can declare, and two dimensional we already seen. So this is the advantage when to use array, is code optimization and random access. In that cases we will go for this, and disadvantage is like size limits is there in that array, and this is two type. Now if you don't have any doubt, then we will go for this final what is that, final keyword. Any doubt? So in Java we have a final keyword. So final should have a keyword, final should have a method, final should have a class. So most of the class in real time we see in final will be there, or variables will have a final, or sometime methods also will have a final. So when to use final, what is final? So final is a keyword in Java. If you define in variable, then that size will be like whatever the you define, that will be fixed, we can't change. And if you define this method as a final, then you can't override this method. And if you define as a class as a final, then you cannot override this class. So that's why we are using this final. So see here, this is final. So this is the main class. Inside this main class we have a variable as a final, int x equal to 10, but before that is a mention final. So what is final? So final is, suppose if you define int x is 10, so we cannot reinitialize this value again. So that will be fixed. We can't change this value. Always should be the fixed value. So what we are doing here, we have a main method inside that object created with this class, main class, and then my object dot x, we are what we are defining based on this object reference. So this is the, because this is non-static final method, right? So non-static, once the object is created based on the reference, we can reinitialize the value. So my obj is the reference dot x equal to 20, we are reinitializing. In that time what we are doing, we generate a error. Why? Because cannot reassign this final variable value, because final variable should be fixed. Suppose if your requirement in your project, you have to declare some variables, and that should not be changed, or it will be fixed in everywhere in your project or particular services. So how we will do? So you have to create as a final before this variable. So you know the PAN card, voter ID card, driver license and all. So this PAN card numbers will be the final keyword. So once is assigned for the particular users, in that cases it won't be changed, because PAN card will be the unique for all the customer. So if define this PAN card number allotted for the particular users or particular customer, so it won't be change in future. So that variables will be, if you see the particular code, in that cases final is the mention PAN card before this PAN card variables. Like PAN card is an alphanumeric type or a string type is there, so for that string is a final keyword. So we will cover here all this concept of final, what is final keyword, final method and final class. So this is section 9. In this section 9 we will cover all this. Total we have approx 28 yeah, 30 to 40 was there. We will cover these all. Or how we can go, can anyone suggest me, like either we can go for this way, like we have 3 to 4 program will be there in this, directly we will cover here, and we will discuss all the theoretical and programming also. Or else can we go with this my notes which I have by section by section.
Maybe it will be the will be the console will be better with the programming also.
Programming also.
Yeah, if we're just gonna go theoretical, then it will be hard to understand.
Yeah, but in programming also, this we have some this in this like if we refer any project or any website, in that we have a limited program, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you'll go for this materials, we have a multiple programs will be there. So which way I can go, either is this way or that way, which you will understand easily. This whatever we are teaching, this is correct, this all.
Yes, it is correct, but it's easy to understand if you will explain more about that. That's all, like here and there both.
Okay, okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, then fine. Yeah, I'll do that one. Thank you for this.
Okay.
So this is a final which I have already told you. Final is a keyword, and it yeah, fine. So this which you make them as a non-changeable, means we can't change this value. So that's why we are defining final. So now we will go for this program one by one in this. So this first program is class A. So in this class A we have a main method. This is a final, right? So this is final. Before that we need to add this package also. So the package is package we have to declare here. So the package is section 9 here. So this section 9. Now we have a class A. Class A have main method. In main method we have a final int I is there, means this integer type value can't be changed. Always should be the fix here. Now here we have a, so this final is a non-static integer type, and this is non-static j value. So this is j value integer type also. This is different reference. This is I reference. So this I reference can't change because final is there, but j reference we declare is a different reference number but integer type. So say fine. So 20 we declare again. Now we are printing SOP of I is 10, j is 20, then this dot 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 will print, then again I will be 10 and then j will be 20, and then again we have a dot 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 is there. Now what we are doing here, we are redefining. I was 10, now again we are defining with the same value, similar value also. If you redefine, then you will get a compile time error, or if any others value, then final local variable cannot assign, it must be blank, not using the compound assign. So it should final, we can't use a, this variables can't be reinitialized here. So in that cases, if you are trying to reinitialize any numbers of here, either 10 similar numbers also will have a same error, because you are doing based on this I reference, you are doing to reinitialize, but this is final keyword, so we can't reinitialize that. And j we can reinitialize. So g was 20, again we have reinitialized j equal to 20 here. So that is fine. If you run this program, then I is 10 20, then double this one, then again I 10 20, and then I is 15 was there, so that is not reinitialized. So here we'll have a error. So if you comment this one, then you will get a I equal to 10 same value and j was a 20. Or if you reinitialize here is a 30, that is also fine. So I was a 30 value will be there. We'll go for this A1. So in A1 we have a class A. Class A have section 9 package. So class A have section 9 package, and this is a static int I is there, but this is a static type. Before what we seen, this was a non-static final. This was a non-static final, but this is a static final because we made it a static as a keyword here. So this is a static final, and this is a static method. Inside I value what 10 10 10 will be printed. And this is class B. So class B have main method, class B have a one, again final int I equal to there. So here see we can initialize the value because final int I is there, but I value is not yet defined here, so we can redefine here. So I value equal to 10 we can define. First time is define, definition is fine, redefine is fine. After that, if you define this value, then SOP of I is 10, and then if you are doing final int I, so in that cases I value is not yet defined, then we can redefine here also, because we this is I final int I values is not yet defined, then we are defining as a 20, means this will behave like a 20. If you run this program here, this is section 9, and inside that, sorry, this is section 9, and this have main method. So in this main method have final int I. So int I we can redefine, because this is, there's no default. If you make it as a static here, then default value should be 0, but this is non-static, so default value is not there. So we can reinitialize or initialize the value of this. So I equal to 10 is fine, and this will be print as a I. Now what we are doing, again we are reinitializing the value of, because already value has initialized. In that cases what will happen, you will get a error, already has been assigned. And in this case, like suppose if you are not defining here a static int I, so if you are not defining a static int I 10, because a static type, so by default value should be the 0 here in that case. If you are not defining, if you define is fine, but in this case we haven't defined because non-static final. But for that we need to initialize before use. We have to use to initialize that value. So I equal to 10 we initialize. Once initialized, then we can't re-initialize this value again in this case. Now we have a class B. So class B have a this one. So these all are we are covering with the same concept which we have already told. This is final keyword. So that one only. So we have a all of concept we are covering here, like how we are declaring, how we are creating in non-static final, a static final and all. So this is a class B. Class B have a static final. So a static anywhere we can use, either before final or after final. So that interchange will happen. Final static or static final we can make. So final static int I is I value is 10. Then we have a main method. Inside this main method I will be printed 10. Again we are trying to reinitialize here. So once you reinitialize, it won't be reinitialized because a compile time error will happen. See here, we cannot reinitialize declare final variable. Then we'll go for this class C. Class C have a package. Then we have a class C main method. This is final and this is non-static. No, sorry, no, non-static variable. So non-static variable we are initializing final variables here. So that is fine, we can do it. But always we can change this non-static variable, but we can't change this final variable. So 10 and then 20, 10 and 10 will be the output, and after that we are reinitializing this j variables. So the j variables I was 10 plus 10 is 20. So here the I value is 10 and j value will be 20 because reinitialize with I plus 10 means 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. So that is fine. Now we have a class C. So class C, inside that we have a static final variables is there. Then we have a void test method. So void test method and then I equal to 10. In this test method we are reinitializing final variable. So you cannot reinitialize anywhere in the final variable, inside the method, inside this class, or inside this, anywhere inside this reinitializing the variables. So nowhere we can, or inside the constructor, anywhere we can't change this final variable if you declare a variable as a final. So you'll get a compile time error. Same this class D also. See, we seen before the first classes increment decrement, so that also not applicable in this final variable. So I equal to 0 is there. Now if you are doing I plus plus, so means you are changing this I variables. I variables means I is integer type and you are doing I plus plus means increment by 1. So that will change this value from 0 to 1. So that won't be allowed in final variable. So same error will happen. And class D, like we seen like before a static variable, if you are not defining, I told like before, if you are not defining integer I equal to a static variable, then by default will be take. But in this final case, a static must be initialized. If you are not initializing, then you will get a compile time error in that case. So final static variable must be initialized, because everywhere we seen a static won't be initialized. If you are not initializing, then default value will be taken. But if you make it as a final keyword, means you have to define this default value or some value you have to define. If you are not defining like that, then you will get a error. So this is a class E. Class E have main method. Main method, here we are declaring object creation, right? Object creation with the class name. Class name E, E1 equal to new E. but object creation also we make as a final here. So once we declared here, so you will get a compile time error. The final local variable e cannot be assigned. It must be blank or not using the compound assignment. Means this one e1 is not yet initialized. We can use final keyword here, not an issue. While object creation also we can use final keyword, but this is not yet assigned here. So if you are not assigning, so local variable e1 cannot is assigned. So e1 is a reference of e object and this is null. So null won't be applied. Either you have to assign something. If you are not assigning, then you will get a compile time error. We will see how we can use in this next program. So this is class E. Class E, yeah.
Rishita is asking something in the chat box.
Okay. Can you hear me? Please run this code and show me the result. What is the component assign? Okay, sure. So component assignment from which topic she is asking component assignment?
Compound assignment.
Oh,
I think it was the previous one.
error was there, right? Compound assignment was the error. Just a minute. Previous one. No, there was some error was there. This.
Yeah, she wants to see the result, the end result.
Okay, okay. Compound assignment. Yeah, sure. So, but see here. This final local variable I cannot be assigned. It must be blank or not using the compound state assignment. Not using compound assignment. We were not able to run this program. Why? Because of we seen everywhere as a error. So if you want to run this program, we can show you just a minute. C1. Okay. So if you comment here for this line number first and run this program, so we seen this output as a 10 20 and all, right? This one, a class A program. So this is fine because we are not reinitializing this final variable. Then in class a1 this is is already there. Now we are doing a1. So this a was already there, so we reinitialize with the class a1. And then here if you run this program, you won't be able to run because of main method is not available in this case. So yeah, main method is there, sorry. So this main method is there. So this is final variable. So final variable, all this I value is 10 10 10 will be printed. Now if you'll go for this B, so B have main method, and in that case we are getting somewhere error this one because I is final, so we have already declared. So this is already declared. See, the final local variable I mean have already defined, so we will comment this one and then we have to run this program. Once you run this program, I value will be 10 10 will be printed, right? And then this is b1. So this b1 have a main method. So in this main method, what is I value is a final, means I value 10 will be printed in line number 8, and again we are reinitializing. So reinitializing, what happen? So we have to comment that, then only we will able to run. Then again we have a 10 10 will be the output here. 10 10 will be the output, right? Now we have a C class. So the C class have a again main method final, and here J j we have initialized I value, final variables inside the j, that is fine. So I value and j value here 10 and 10. Now again j value has I plus 10, I is j value is 10 plus 10 20, but j value always should be the fix. So 10 20 10 and then 20 and 10 will be the output. I values 10 and 20 will be the output. So 10 10 and 10 and 20 will be the output here. Now we have a C1. So this C1 having a C1 class. So here we were getting error because we added same name of class because of existing class. So that's why. So C1 I used. Then we have a static final int variable is there. And then we have a test method. And here we have I. So I were already assigned. So we can't re-initialize inside this method also. But here we don't have any method. So if you can't comment this error also, then you will are not able to run this. Why? Because we don't have any main method is there. So this program has terminated, and this output is from previous output, not for this program output. So this was some error, means this program has terminated because of no main method is there. And in this case class D main method is there, but here we are doing some, this is compound assignment is there, means this final variables cannot be assigned. So here final variable I equal to 0. If we are doing I plus plus, means this will be value of I is final variable. So here we'll have a 0 and the post increment will happen, but in SOP will be the output of 1. So that won't be applicable because final variables value will be changed. So that's why we are getting this. If you are getting this one, just what is compound assignment? So if you copy this error here, so this local variable connection cannot be assigned, it must be blank or not using compound assignment. Compound assignment means, like, I'm not sure exactly, but I think this is a post increment we are doing. So we cannot, once we are doing this post increment, so this will change this integer I variables. So that is not applicable, I think. But here it's showing some compound assignment. We will check, like, what is this? It must be blank, not using a compound assignment. We will check. But if you run this program, this will not be happen because compile time we have to comment this and then you have to run compound statement. A statement will see and let you know what is that exactly. So I is 0, in this case will be printed SOP, but increment won't be happen. And then this is D1, but we are getting D is already defined. So we mention the class as a D1 Java. Then here we have to mention D1, and inside this D1 we have a static variable int is there, but a static variable we have not yet defined. So a static won't be defined if you are fine, but if you make it as a final, but you should have to define this static variable also. If you define, there is no issue. If you are not defining, then you will get a compile time error, and the error is the blank final variable I may not have been initialized. So you have to initialize them. So you will not able to run this program because we don't have any main methods are there. And this is class E, so we have a main method and we are creating the object. So the object creation we make as a final, but this E1 as a reference is null here. So if you are making as a null, so this will have a compile time error, but the local variable E1 cannot be assigned, means not yet assigned E1. E1 is a reference of E object, class E object created, and it must be blank or not using a compound assignment. So we will see that what is exactly we need to check that also. But if you comment this one as a E1, then this will be applicable. But here only SOP output as a done will be the output. But if you are doing E1 as a null, then you will get a compile time error. So in this case, this this is the done. Then we have again class E, class E1, not E. So before that we declare a package. All are variables only. Final variables concept only. So this is E1, class E1, package is section 9. So class E1, and in class E1 we have a static final int is there. So this is not yet initialized, right? But that is not an issue because we have declared somewhere inside this class. So if you have defined final in variable and not yet is initialized is fine, but somewhere you have to reinitialize or initialize this. So static is the block where we are doing this I value initialization. So I value first time initialization is applicable if you have not yet initialized. If you are doing multiple reinitialize and all, that will not be applicable. Only if you have not yet defined value, then you can define this value anywhere inside this method, inside the block, and inside the variable also. So here we are doing I value 10, so that is fine, but it won't be allowed to run. Why? Because of main method is not there. Only we understand the concept here, finals and blocks, how we can redefine this value. If so, here again we have created the object. Main method is there, class F object created, and we have created others object, that is a new object, and before that we make it as a final. First object is non-final object created and second object is a final object created. F2 equal to new F. Now what we are doing, F2 is the reference of F class and F1 is the reference of F class. So both are F type of object created, but F2 is final type, and then we are comparing F1 equal to F2 equal to F1 type. So while you compare, in that cases you will get a compile time error. Final local variable F2 cannot assigned. Final local variable F2 cannot assigned. So this is not yet assigned. Though how we will compare? So final local variable should be assigned. So you will get this compilation error. Suppose if you've seen somewhere in your project, the final local variable F2 cannot assign. It must be blank or not using a compound assignment. So that we will check, and tomorrow I'll let you know for that what is compound assignment. But you'll get a compile time here, and for this F2 equal to F1 won't be applicable. So if you comment that, then just nothing is happening, just object created happen, and after that SOP is there. So by using object reference we are not calling anything of any methods or anything in that. So just output will be the done here. This also class we have a main method. We don't have any main method here. A static final int is there. A static. Again, we are what we are doing in this case. F1 is there. So we are doing redefine. So this in already we defined this value of variables, final variable, and again we are doing in this block level define redefining. So that also not applicable, cannot be reinitialized or assigned. Then we have a class G. Class G have main method. We have a final. This is a string type of variable final, and then we are again doing some reinitialization. So cannot be reinitialized. So how you will remove this error? Like if you want to remove, then you can remove this as a final, or if you want to reinitialize this, or else you can comment this one. And if you run this program, then you will get a done, because we are not printing this as one variables, just we are doing SOP and all. So this is the done. And this is a class G. Class G have a static variable, and then a static method is block is there. Inside this static block we have make as a initialize this variable, so that is fine. And then again we have other static block, again in that we are all doing the same thing, initialize this variable. But while we initialize this variable, two time won't be applicable, only one time, first time is applicable. So we'll get a error, compile time error. This is class H. So this is class H have a object created. So this is object created inside the main method final int sorry object, no, this is array. So this is array, right? This is a square bracket means array creation is happening. So array creation happening for this integer type of array they are creating, and reference is x. And this is final integer creation, final array creation, integer type of array created, and the reference is x, and this is final array. And new int, and this size of array is 2 here. Size of array is 2 here means it will allow from index of 0, index of 1, start from 0 index. So if the size is 2, it will start from 0 to n minus 1 index. So 0 index some value will be need to be insert, and 1 index some value need to be insert. So here we have x is the reference. So x of 0 index we have a 100, and x of 100 index 1 index we have a 200. Means we have a two array, one array, inside that two value is there, one is 100 comma 200, and both is final because we declare int array as a final x. So final type. Done. Then we have h1. So this h1, so this is h1 class h1. So this class h1 have final variable, and here we have a constructor. See, this constructor is there. So this class constructor should have a class name. So I'm getting error here. Why? Because of the class name is h1.java. So we have renamed here h1. So the constructor should have a class name. So either we have to mention the class name. So this is h1. h1 have a one final variable and one constructor is there, and inside constructor also we can define this value of variable. If you have not yet defined the final variable value, then inside the constructor also we can define, not an issue in that case. So this is parameter default constructor, and again we have a parameterized constructor. So that parameterized constructor have single parameter, that is double type. So double type have I is, again this is double type of j, and they are doing I value is 20 here, but it is fine. Why? Because of, just a minute, in that case SOP of this one and double constructor is undefined this. So in this case this is this fine. Double is double type, so double j is there, means we define as a double j and then I value is 20. In that case constructor h int is undefined. Okay, constructor h int is undefined. Okay, yeah, fine. This one is fine. This is I cannot be resolved or not a field. I cannot be resolved or not. h1 dot I, h1 dot I is fine, and h1 dot j I cannot be resolved. Field of h1 dot I. See here, so we have a class h is final variable, then we have a constructor h1. So the constructor we have a I defined here because final int is not a defined before, so we defined I equal to 10. Now we have a h1 parameterized constructor. So in this parameterized constructor they need double type of j, so it's a double type of variable j value he need. But here what they have made, inside that I equal to 20 they put it, I equal to 20. So that means some j value they are defining as a 20, but this is I type, so I is not a declare inside that. This is already defined without parameters, but here not a defined. Then we have a main method. So while we created the object of h1, h equal to new h, so this no parameterized constructor call is fine, not an issue. Once the no parameterized constructor call, I value is 10, and in that case h2 equal to new h354. This is integer type, not double type, but compiler here looking as a double type. In line number 9, compiler looking as a double type parameterized, but this is integer type of constructor here we defining. So in that case we will get a compile time error, constructor h int is undefined, because in this class we don't have any parameterized integer type constructor. We have two type only, is a default constructor and one is double type constructor, but this is looking as a integer type constructor, that is not applicable. Now we are printing h1 dot I value. So h1 is this one, so h1 dot I while we are printing, that case I cannot be resolved or not a field. So h1 dot I, h1 is the reference of this, and dot I we are printing. So yeah, so in that cases directly we are printing this variable. So either we will call some methods and all based on this object creation, this h1 dot I, this is I, so this I value will be printed. Create a constant, create a constant in type h, or create a field. If you make it as a field, then it's not applicable. or if you make as a constant here, create a constant. No, that is not. This will be having error, and this 17 h1 h2 dot I will have a error. H2 dot I, why? Because of I cannot be resolved or not a field. This one I cannot be resolved or not a field. SOP of h1 dot I, so h1 dot I should be 10 here, and h2 dot I won't be applicable because of integer is not there. So this is looking integer type of constructor. Okay, I'll continue. Okay, or else we will continue from here, this h1 program tomorrow, and we will see this one, why this error is not happening, and also we will see this, what is this inside that compound assignment. So we will let you know tomorrow for this, and tomorrow we will continue this all program. So all are related for this variable, final method, final variable, and final class. And after that 9 or 10, after that we will cover this section. So in this section we have a static. In this section we have a like a privates and all, privates declarations and all, like how we will use the privates immutable inside that.